Artur, thank you so much for your time for this interview. I wanted to ask you about your work in WACA, WestBridge Anand Chess Academy. How did it begin, and what was the start of it?
Well, we're still in a very good connection with Vishwanathan Anand, and he called me, suggested that I can work with Indian players. That's a very interesting project. And of course, I immediately agreed to do this.
And how has been your overall experience in this last 1.5 years of working with these talents?
In fact, it was very, very positive, and we see also very good development of these young players in the last months, yeah, or last year. They really did a great job, and it's very interesting to work with talented players. Yeah? So if you work with Gukesh or Pragnanandha, that's or Nihal Sahin, that's very, very nice, yeah, because they're coming also with very nice variations, with nice ideas. So there is also sometimes we are discovering some new things in the position. So that's also very, very interesting. It's very high level work. They're good educated players, but you know you can always learn, yeah, in chess. So that's what our young players, that what they are doing. Yeah, they're learning, they're getting experience. They're better and better actually with each training, with each tournament they are playing. So they are on a very good way.
So you have been an absolute top player for several years in your chess career, but now chess has constantly been evolving. So when it comes to training these youngsters, what do you see your role in WestBridge Anand Chess Academy as?
Maybe I'm a little bit trying to fill the gap between modern methods, yeah, and old school, because I'm a little bit of old school, which is, I'm sorry, second, like that. That means that we're concentrating more in my classes. We're concentrating more on the technique, on the way how to solve the problems, how to find the solutions. So on these important aspects of the game, yeah, but it's not maybe a very modern approach, yeah, because today people are working much more with computers. Of course, I am also using engines in preparing the material, but my students, they have to use their own brains. Yeah? So that's very, very important. That's what I want to develop, the ability to solve the problems.
And do you work with them in groups or is it like individual training?
No, it is group training, and we're working very, very nicely also. I think that trying also to use as well the modern communications. We work over Zoom. So small groups, maybe 4 or 5 people. But it's actually very nice also. I think it's also interesting to work in a group because you are in a nice situation, in a contact with other players, in a way, in competition with other players. So you are a little bit stimulated as well. You see, he already solved it. So I need to do better myself. Yeah. So this is a good competition. And we also, sometimes we are doing a training where they have to play some complicated position each other. They play against each other. So it is more practical training. That way they can also practice and develop certain skills that they really need in the tournament practice, like defending difficult position. Yeah? So they can do it in training, and hopefully we will be better in the praxis, in the tournaments.
Correct. So, in the Soviet era, there was the Botvinnik Chess School. Then you yourself had a chess school which was called the Doretsky Yusupov Chess School as well. How do you see WestBridge Anand Chess Academy as? It's still early days for it. It's been only a year and a half. But do you see this developing into something like the Botvinnik School or your school or something of that sort, which creates a lot of world-class players and talents?
In a way, it is already on a different level. Yeah? We could only dream about such a situation where we are working each week, for example, on a regular basis, with our students. In the school of Botvinnik, there were like 4 sessions in a year.
Oh.
And also in our schools, we have only it was like a week session, it was good, but it's not the same. Yeah. So in a way, it is much more advanced already, and that's very good actually, because if you have such a possibility, very, very good. The constant work is very productive. And at the same time, I think that Anand is in a constant contact with all coaches, so he controlling the process and doing a lot of things himself, and that's a fantastic. If you have world champion doing such a thing, that's absolutely great. So I am very convinced that we already saw the very good results of Indian team in Olympiad.
Are you surprised? Are you surprised with how?
Sorry?
Are you surprised with how quickly they are all improving?
Honestly, I was even surprised because it was partly I had a good expectation, but I couldn't predict the results of Gukesh, for example, because that was fantastic on the first board to have such a performance and such a play. Yeah? Great, absolutely great, great result, and it was just like a little bit. You were even a little bit unlucky in the tournament. Yeah, so that's otherwise you would win maybe both competitions. Yes, so, but of course, nevertheless, overall result is great because you also won the Gaprindashvili Cup. Yeah, the combined performance men and women. And that's actually what shows the level of chess already in the country. Yeah? If combine you're on the first place, okay, that means that you are on the first place in the chess. Okay. So already or close to this, let's say, because Russia was not playing in this Olympiad, but
right.
Apart from this, it's absolutely great performance, and but it is only a start in a way, So you really have so many talents and such a great job of your trainers, your coaches. Yeah, you have excellent coaches in the country already. You have your own school basically, and the people are working so hard, so good, and we see the quality of the talents and that they are very good prepared already. So that's they are already on a very good level. And we need only to move them further in the good directions.
Fantastic.
But very talented people, very talented, and many of them. So you have a good competition in the country, which is also very important. So they compete each other, and it's maybe would be even more difficult for them to compete inside the country than outside. Yes.
True.
It reminds me of the situation in Soviet Union, honestly. When I was young, we have very tough competition inside of the country, and it was a little bit easier to play the tournaments outside. So that's what's happening now.
Fantastic. And if I had to ask you like a couple of lines about each of these students with whom you have worked, let's start with, let's say, Arjun Erigesi. What would you say about him? He's now reached 27-35.
Yes, he was not so often in the training, but when he was, then he was one of the best always. Yeah, so extremely good player. Yeah, very quickly progressing actually. Yeah, because his results are growing, and nobody knows where he stops. Yes. So very impressive results, and very good, also good prepared, very talented player.
Amazing. Gukesh.
Gukesh, I like very much. He is also always looking for the core of the position. Yeah, he tries to understand things very carefully. So he's one who puts the best questions. So always going deeper in position. I like this drive very much.
He's very curious.
And very curious, very eager to learn also. And so I was, as I said, I was surprised. But on the other hand, it should be like this. Yeah? Such players, they need little bit time to gain some knowledge. But at the moment when they starting using this knowledge, they are of course making a huge step. Yeah. So that's what happened to him in Olympiad. He was great, and I hope that he will. And of course, his way. You cannot also to say where he will stop, yeah, and why. Yeah. So at the moment, it goes very well for him too.
Yeah. And Pragnananda.
Extremely good, strong in calculations, very good, very inventive player, very inventive. This also a little bit similar to Gukesh. Always, if he gives some variation, even if it could be some mistake there, but this mistake already on very high level. Yeah. So that's already, it's not some blunder or whatever. It is like missing extremely fine defensive resource, but otherwise his calculations are amazing. Yeah, and this is another big force. But you have a couple of others. Yeah, that's the point.
Nihal Sarit.
But you can mention like 10 people, and everybody of this list, each country would be happy to have such a talent.
True. And what would you say about Nihal?
Very good in his understanding of chess already. Very good, but he also. I just met him actually last time he played tournament in Armenia, and I was invited also to Armenia to make some training. So we met personally, which was nice. Very nice, also very nice, very modest person, and he works hard. And in this tournament, he was ill, but I think he didn't lose the game. Yeah, so that was amazing. Yeah, everybody said, "What you would do here if you would have normal conditions?" So,
right.
So that was actually amazing. This was the most amazing performance in a way. If you're ill and in such a bad shape and so difficult to play, and the opponents were very young, hungry wolves. Yeah, so they're very strong opponents. But he could already stay. Very fine player. I think again they of course. They're coming from the same country, but they're a little bit different. Everybody has his own individuality. That's also what fascinating. Yeah, but they have all they have good education. That's actually what combines them. That shows the level already, level of work. Yeah, what Indian trainers are bringing. Yeah, so they are bringing the talents on a very high level, and you have Anand, who supports this process, yeah, like trying to help this on a level which he himself achieved, yeah. So he tries to bring them father, yeah, from good grandmasters to excellent grandmasters and to maybe to world champions. I wouldn't be surprised if in some period one of these guys we mentioned, or maybe not mentioned, because the fight in Indian chess is very intense. Yeah? Everybody wants to show the others. Yeah? He is the best. Yeah? So that's good. That helps them, of course, to perform, and at the same time, what is very helpful is the work of Anand. Yeah, that he's with them. He is an excellent example for them. Yeah, as a human and as a chess player, you cannot find a better example. Hard-working, extremely talented player himself. Yeah, he knows what to do to achieve the success. Yeah, and that's the key thing. I think. Yeah, so yeah, I am very confident that maybe this result in Olympiad it will be only better next time. Because you are
right, they're all growing. When you talk about Anand, you have yourself worked with him in the past. You have, I think, trained him. So when such a sort of, he's like a genius. He's five-time world champion, and he's also very particular about things. Like I was talking with WestBridge, and they said that Anand gives reports regularly of these youngsters, and he's very much into this project. It's a very rare combination, right? To find someone who is a genius at the same time, so particular about everything.
Yes, I was, for example, I was very grateful in my time to what I was able to attend the sessions of Mikhail Botvinnik. Yeah? It was such a great thing to see how world champion thinks about chess. Yeah? It was immensely important also for me. And of course, it also I learned a little bit from his attitude, how he was approaching chess. So Anand is a real role model for Indian players, obviously. Yeah? He's a great player himself, and he has also character. And what he is doing these things, and this is actually much more intensive than we had in Botvinnik school. He's much more involved in the process, and the processes on a bigger scale. Yeah. So that's actually a rather unique thing. Yeah. And that's would be the key to success of Indian chess.
Fantastic. And related to Vaishali, she is right now the only girl student in the academy. How has your experience been with her?
Great experience. She's making real progress. Is very good. But I said that she's not the really only girl who is taking my classes, because Anand always tries to send some girls. Bhakti was also in my classes, and Agrawal, Yavantika. Yeah. So there were already also, and also Divya as well, some classes. I hope also I could inspire them a little bit, and we were like working on endings and all this difficult stuff. Yeah? But that's what they need to come. There's actually another aspect that you also developing the developing women chess. I think this is very important. Yeah, this is very important to not to forget. Yeah, about girls, and to help them to develop their talents, and that's also great that Anand is also taking care of all these things, because you will again in some years these girls are very good. They're working very hard as well. Yeah, they're already on a good level. Yeah, and the future for them. Yeah, so that they can progress. Yeah, and that's a good thing. Yeah, so I would see also your women team with very good chances in a few years.
Absolutely.
Already now you had third place, yeah, and yeah, which is good. Yeah, but with some luck you could win. But I think in a few years, simply you will be very hard to stop.
Amazing, amazing. And I think there are just two more left. Raunak Sadhwani, I think recently he beat Dominguez and he's beginning to start beating world-class players.
Yes, no, also Raunak was the one who surprises also with deep understanding, deep knowledge, yeah? And is one who has also very good intuition and demonstrated these things in the training. I'm sorry, I have my cat coming.
No problem. You can have her on the screen. That's fine.
Okay. That's it. So yes, one of this what I wanted to mention, yeah, but you have probably also some talents whom I never met, yeah,
For sure.
Growing for sure, and that's also the point. And I think this combination of very serious work of trainers, I probably already said that, and
Yes.
Connection now to Anand. This is very good for players who reach the grandmaster level, because then to move forwards is very difficult. And if you see the chess careers of many players, they at some point they reached like 2600, yeah? But then they couldn't make a break to the top, yeah? So they're staying on the same level. This next step is very difficult, and you have to work very hard. And I think that many players are ready to do it, and many Indian players are ready to do it, and they have very good opportunities.
Amazing. And lastly, is this little boy Leon? Have you interacted with him? And what?
Also, no, Leon and Raunak and Pragnanandha and Nihal and Gukesh, they're like a core group. Yeah. What I was working, and Vaishali also, they're like a core group I was working, but there were some other coming.
Right.
And yes, Leon, of course, also extremely talented players. And so, yes, we saw it also in Olympiad. You put 3 teams, yes, and maybe you can reshuffle them. even it could be even, but it was impossible to guess who would shoot. But if you would guess correctly, you would win this Olympiad. Yes, but okay, still it was great achievement, like 3rd and 4th place. I don't think it's not easy to repeat such a thing, and also 3rd team was also very good.
Yes. And
so,
one question that I had was that earlier it was imagined that in order to sort of break into the top, you have to play super tournaments, you have to play WACA, you have to play Norway chess, you have to play all these events, Dortmund. But now if you see these youngsters, not just Gukesh and Arjun, but also Nodirbek, also Diach, they've all reached 2700 plus, 2730, 2720 by not playing any super tournament. So do you see something changing in the chess world?
No, I think you are right about super tournaments. It's still important, yeah. But I would put immediately a question: why don't you organize the super tournaments in India? Why not to give this opportunity for your players? Because of course, if you in WACA, they are mostly interested in developing the talent of foresters or whatever, yeah, young stars they have, yeah, clearly, yeah. So this is an important element, yes, and that's not what you can influence unless you do some tournaments yourself, yes. And then this is a good, okay, it is a lot of work, but you have also some strong players who would be extremely grateful of this opportunity.
For sure. Well, I will make sure.
So that's maybe maybe it is a part of puzzle, yeah, what still need to be done. Yeah, honestly, yeah. But otherwise, because otherwise it's such a good work, yeah, and people are working so hard because that's the reason why they are reaching this level. Yeah. Usually it is almost impossible, but okay, now they played in Gukesh played the super tournament, yeah, in Olympia.
Right.
So that, and he showed that he is already ready for this. Yeah. So Pragnanandha showed that he is already ready. Yeah, for the super events. Yeah. So all these guys would, of course, profit immensely if you put them in these competitions. But it is only part, yeah, of the puzzle. Training work is extremely important, and the support, yeah, what they are giving to young players, opportunities. This is very, very good, yeah, and that's why I am very positive about the prospects.
I think also the
International.
corporate sponsorships is very important, right? Because and that way, like WestBridge coming in and doing this is a big thing.
That's what you should be really thankful to the guys, yeah, who supporting the whole stuff, yeah, because that's what now what you have in India, nobody has it, yeah, nobody has it in the world. You have excellent sponsor supporting School of Anand, yeah. So if you say to somebody, yeah, they can only dream about such a condition, such a situation.
Brilliant. Well, Arthur, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you, understanding a lot more about these young talents. And also, we want to thank you immensely for developing them, for spending your time in helping them grow. So, thank you so much.
Thank you too. All the best.
See you. Bye.
See you.